So now we'll see how to place the columns. How does the column positioning and column orientation goes. We'll see that thing. So here already I have just created some column sizes as per the standards. So you can see the positioning. Now these are nothing but the column sizes. Okay. So what the standard sizes, जो भी कॉलम रहता उसका साइज क्या है. So first of all, what is a column? What is a column? Is it a horizontal member or a vertical member? It's a vertical member. Okay. So if you want a vertical member, okay, to bear a load of the slab, so directly the column is not going to take the load of slab. So the load of slab is going to be transferred to the beam first. Okay. Then from beam the load is transferred to the columns. So load distribution pattern will be there. पहले जो load है it will be transferred to beam. Slab load जो है, slab load, dead load, life load जो भी है, the load, entire load will be transferred from slab to beam. Beam से फिर जो load है then it will be transferred to column. Then after the columns it will be transferred, the load will be transferring from the columns to the footing. कॉलम से फुटिंग को ट्रांसफर हो जाता है. देन द लोड विल बी ट्रांसफर टू द सॉइल. ठीक है. सो फॉर दैट पर्पस ओनली विल बी जस्ट चेकिंग द SBC of soil. What is this SBC? Safe bearing capacity. Okay. So it's mandatory to just go for SBC before just constructing and before designing the columns, the entire structure of the building. Okay. Now first, the standard columns. These are nothing but the standard column sizes used for small residential buildings. अभी ये छोटे वाले column से ही will just try to understand what's the terminology, how does the like positioning is going to happen. ये छोटे वाले sizes से ही एक छोटा सा plan लेकर ही will directly start creating. Okay. Now first, what is this? Nothing but this is nothing but the column size. And the column size we are having both length and width. So here the next thing is nothing but center to center distance between one column to other column. Minimum and maximum will be there. कम से कम कितना डिस्टेंस रखना है कॉलम्स के बीच में एंड ज्यादा से ज्यादा कितना डिस्टेंस रखना है. Okay. So these things are nothing but as per standards. Now first one is 9 inches by 9 inches column. Mostly this column is being used like if there are like very small houses or if there are like lift, जहाँ कहीं भी lift है, lift के चारों corners पे will be having the columns. Why do we provide 4 columns at lift, at 4 corners of lift? So the weight is there, no doubt, but we can even create the wall also, right? Instead of 4.5 or 9 inches, we can create a 14 inches of wall around the lift. But why it is mandatory to have the columns? Just because आपका जो lift रहता ना, lift का load ज़्यादा रहता, due to its load and due to its movement, vibrations ज़्यादा induce होते. Due to vibrations, there are some chances of development of cracks in the walls. अगर columns नहीं रहे तो definitely cracks will be developed. So for that thing, we'll place the columns around the 4 corners of the lift. Even though before columns in the entire structure, पहले जो पुराने घर रहते थे, ठीक है, so in those houses also there were no columns. Earlier there were no columns. So everything was created based upon the load bearing walls. What are these load bearing walls? In good olden days, like जो पुराने घर रहते थे, पुराने घर में भी स्लैब रहता था, बट कॉलम्स कहीं पे भी दिखते नहीं थे. Why? Because the walls were created in such a massive thickness. बहुत ज्यादा thickness के walls रहते थे पहले. Instead of 9 inches wall और 12 inches wall, पहले के जो walls रहते थे 14 inches, 18 inches thick walls रहते थे. So you were able to just construct the slab, उसके ऊपर ही slab डाल सकते थे आप. Okay, but what is the major drawback of those things? उसमें load bearing structures में you were able to construct like only ground one, first and second. Like if you want to still go for the still high rise buildings. Okay, so for that thing you need to have the RCC structures. Okay, so reinforced concrete structures. Now these are nothing but the framed structures which we are working with. Framed structures किसको बोलते हैं? The structures जैसा कि जिसमें members है, structural members like columns, beams, slab. These are nothing but the framed structures. Load bearing structures are nothing but जो पुराने घर थे, those are load bearing structures. ठीक है, उसमें सिर्फ ग्राउंड फर्स्ट सेकंड बस, दैट्स इट. उससे ज्यादा नहीं डाल सकते क्योंकि सेल्फ वेट ऑफ द बिल्डिंग विल बी इंक्रीज्ड. ओके, तो अभी यहाँ पे यू नीड टू जस्ट थिंक अबाउट दिस साइजेस. जो 9 इंचेस बाय 9 इंचेस के कॉलम्स हैं जो कि पहले के जो पुराने घर रहते थे लाइक अराउंड लाइक 10 to 20 years बैक जो घर रहते थे उसमें जो छोटे साइजेस के घर रहते थे उसमें 9 इंचेस बाय 9 इंचेस के कॉलम्स यूज होते थे. Even though we can use it now also, but now everyone's mentality has been changed. Everyone wants to construct their house like up to 4 and 5 floors. So up to 4 5 floors I cannot go with this column. It cannot bear that much load. So we need to think about a bigger size column like after that we are having 9 inches by 12 inches. Even this one also cannot bear, and we are having even 9 by 15 also. Even this one also cannot bear. It may bear up to some extent, like up to 4 floors it may bear, but when it comes to like G+5 or some structures like that, then you need to go for 9 inches by 18 inches. Still we are having the high rise structures like up to 10 floors 20 floors और बहुत सारे नंबर ऑफ फ्लोर्स की बिल्डिंग्स रहते हैं, राइट? तो उसमें भी सर क्या यही कॉलम्स यूज होंगे? नो, देयर आर स्टिल बिगर कॉलम्स देन 9 by 18. Like see, you can see this column is of like 9 by 2. Some columns will be there like 3 feet by 1 feet, 3 by 1. So as the type of building is changing, the size of the columns will be depending upon the span also and the number of floors also. ठीक है, आपका जो कॉलम का साइज है, दो कॉलम्स के बीच में जो डिस्टेंस रहता उसके ऊपर भी डिपेंड करता, एज वेल एज नंबर ऑफ फ्लोर्स बिल्डिंग में कितने हैं उसके ऊपर भी आपका कॉलम साइज चेंज होता. सो हाउ वी आर डिसाइडिंग द परफेक्ट साइज ऑफ द कॉलम? तो दीज आर नथिंग बट द बेसिक स्टैंडर्ड वंस. ठीक है, जो रेसिडेंशियल घर वगैरह जो रहते हैं उसके लिए दिस मच इज एनफ. बट जो हाई राइज बिल्डिंग्स के लिए आप जाते 6 फ्लोर्स 8 फ्लोर्स 10 फ्लोर्स और 20 फ्लोर्स 40 फ्लोर्स जो बिल्डिंग्स रहते उसमें आपको पूरा एग्जैक्ट डिजाइनिंग होती, मैनुअल डिजाइनिंग और यूजिंग दी सॉफ्टवेयर्स जैसा कि ETAP, स्टार्ट प्रो, वी आर हैविंग मेनी सॉफ्टवेयर्स. सो यूजिंग दोस सॉफ्टवेयर्स will be deciding the size of the columns as well. Okay, but coming back over here, now just keep this thing in mind. As of now, as you guys are freshers, just keep this thing in mind. Okay, these are standard, that's it. Okay, now the next thing is nothing but the length and width. After that, the center to center distance between the columns. The center to center distance, what is this? Minimum distance between two columns. Like here I'm having a floor plan, so what should be the minimum distance? As it is listed out over here, the minimum distance should be 6 feet. Why? What's the reason? The reason is nothing but if the distance is less than 6 feet, so there might be a problem that like their footings, their pits might coincide. दिस इज द पिट मार्किंग डिटेल. ठीक है, अगर डिस्टेंस कम रहा तो उन लोग का जो पिट रहता दैट विल बी नाउ. सो दैट्स द रीजन व्हाई वी आर जस्ट कंसीडरिंग द मिनिमम डिस्टेंस एज 6 feet. Even so, like you might be thinking, sir, is the footing size will be less than 6 feet only? No. Again, the footing size will also be decided based upon the number of floors and the distance between the columns. Okay. Now, okay, as this is nothing but a small house, so we can even place 9 by 9 columns in this one also. But we have to place it very close, at a very closer distance. At what distance? The minimum distance is 6 feet, maximum 8 to 10 feet. At every 8 to 10 feet of span, the columns are supposed to be placed. Then what happens? Number of columns will be increased. हर 10 feet पे column डालना है, हर 10 feet पे column डालना है. Okay, so I don't want to do that thing. That will become uneconomical. Why uneconomical? जितने ज्यादा columns होंगे उतना ही ज्यादा pits रहते हैं, उतना ज्यादा जितने ज्यादा pits रहेंगे उतना ज्यादा excavation करने के लिए excavation cost and again everything will be increased. So just make sure like you are going for like the next one 9 inches by 12 inches. Minimum is again 6 to 8 feet and again maximum is 10 feet to 12 feet. Okay, I can place it at a distance of 10 feet to 12 feet. And even the next thing is 9 by 15. What is this 9 by 15 column? The 9 by 15 column is nothing but the length is 9 and the width is 15 inches. The next one is nothing but the minimum and maximum distances. Up to 14 feet I can go for 9 by 15 column. Okay, either it may be like the distance between the columns is like 14 feet also I can place the column. So in this project I have used 9 by 15 column only. So as you can see the column size is 15 inches only. This is okay. Now coming to the next thing. Now I exactly want to know where the columns are going to be placed. Columns place कहाँ पे करते हैं? अभी जैसा कि स्टार्टिंग में मैं बताया था, the columns will be placed. Okay, starting में मैं ये बोला था, the load is being transferred from the slab load, the dead load, live load जो भी है, वो transfer होता beam, then from beam to column. Okay, if अगर wall है ऊपर, wall load will be transferred to slab to beam to column. Like that load is being transferred. तो यहाँ पे भी जहां जहां walls है वहां पे you are supposed to place the columns. It doesn't mean that wherever the walls are there, there you will place columns. At some places, this is a shorter wall. No need of placing a column over here. This is a longer span wall and here I am having even the staircase. तो यहाँ पे place करना जरूरी है. Okay. So it comes by experience. So you need to just go for the site visits as well. So then only you will get more clear idea. Okay. Now, but the thing is, wherever you are having the walls, place at those points. First thing, try placing the columns. I'll remove all these columns. So now I'm supposed to select them individually. Now I'll go for making up another layer, enter. I'll go for creating a new layer called as columns. Now again I'm going to change the color of these columns, magenta. Now double click to set it as the current layer. Go for REC, enter. Go for set the color to the bilayer, REC, enter. D, enter. 9 inches, enter. 15 inches, enter. Okay, then go for H, enter. What is H, enter used for? Hatch. Hatch enter is nothing but hatch to fill specific hatch patterns in the closed regions. So this is nothing but a closed region. I'm just going for solid hatch. यहाँ पे solid hatch place कर दो. Then just click on close. First thing, place the column at all the four corners. first thing is to be done is this one. पहले प्लॉट के चारों कॉर्नर पॉइंट्स पे कॉलम्स प्लेस कर दीजिए. Done. Now where I'm having the wall now, here exactly at the center, right? Okay, yes. अभी यहाँ पे right now I'm not going to place the column over here. So here staircase is there, here it's mandatory to have the column over here. So I'm just going to select this one. I'm going for copy from this point to this point. Done. So how much is the minimum distance? 6 feet. But here how much it is? 7 feet. Okay, it's enough. We can place it after 7 feet also. Okay. Now the next distance I wanted to check out. How much it is? 14 feet 4.5 inches. So can we place it? Yes or no? We can place. 4.5 inches is there. That's negligible. Okay. We can increase the steel reinforcement in this particular column. Okay. I said that if it is increasing beyond 14 feet, we cannot place, but we can place it in some cases, like just by increasing the steel, the number of bars and the size of bars. Okay. Now I'm selecting this column. I'm selecting this column and I'm selecting this one also. Again go for CEO, enter from this point to this point. Okay, done. But at what distance it is, we need to check out whether we have placed at the specified distance or not. जैसा कि यहाँ पे टेबल के बीच में टेबल में डिस्टेंस दिया हुआ है, हर कॉलम टू कॉलम डिस्टेंस जो है 12 to 14 फीट रहना है. So we want to check out, is it perfect? It's 11 feet 6 inches. Okay, done. You can place it. But as you can see, this column is coming in between. रास्ते में आ जा रहा column में. So even it's not mandatory for me to keep the column over here. So instead of there, what I'll do, I'll place the column over here. Is this perfect? Yes. So this wall's entire load will be on the beam connecting these two columns. Which two columns? Here also I can place the column right from this point to this point, like this. Okay, is this clear? Yes. This is how we'll just go for placing the columns. First you are supposed to place at all the four corners. Then you are supposed to place the columns where is the requirement. Just check the requirement. Here it's mandatory to place. Then after this I cannot directly place it over here. Okay, so there can be installed a concealed beam or hidden beam. In slab itself will install a hidden beam. Okay, now
same thickness as
with the thickness of the slab itself only. Okay, slab mein it will be concealed. It's called as concealed beam. Okay, now just I wanted to verify whether the distance are perfect or not. How much it is? 10 feet 9 feet 9 inches, and again how much it is? 11 feet 4 inches. Clear?
yes.
Now this was nothing but the positioning. Now the next thing is orientation. The most important part in this is orientation only. Where to turn the face of this column, where to rotate. Like अभी ऐसा रखा हुआ है ना, how to change when that the face of the column will be changed. I just wanted to see that thing. So that thing comes under the next session called as column orientation. Okay, how the faces will be changing based upon the distance between the columns. So as here is it is mentioned, shorter face of the column will be facing the longer span. So we'll see how the shorter face will be facing the longer span just by changing the distances. There is some calculation involved in it. I'll just break down that calculation in a simple format and I'll try to explain you in next session. Is this clear? Column positioning. Okay, whatever may be the size of the building, like this you can place just by simply using the distances technique. Okay, no, that's it. We'll continue in the next session.
So can you share that?
Yes, Raj.